Trade Nylander. Not you two. Hi. Victory Puppy! I have no idea what I'm doing. God to the riches of the league! This team is ruining my life. Are you 2018 has been the best year for the Toronto Maple Leafs in recent memory. And they end it with a beer fart. Did it have to be that game? Leafs lose 4-0 to Matthew Barzal and not John Tavares' anymore's New York Islanders. So here's what I think we're gonna do. Here's a rundown of today's show. Is that what it is? A show? Sure. I'm gonna yell about my team for a little bit. Then I'm gonna be salty for a lot. And then I'll tie it all together with peace and love. So to get to the first part, what the hell was that? Heading into this game, you got the Islanders, you got Barry Trotz going, oh, you know, John Tavares, he chose not to be an Islander, and we're all like, oh well. The Leafs quote was, well, the guys are gonna want to play for John. Me thinks the guys, oh, John won. I'm not gonna spend a ton of time on the game because I thought it was pretty simple. The Leafs were trash. Good on Barry Trotz for backing up what he said because I thought that was a masterclass against the Leafs. When the puck was in the Leafs zone, it stayed there. The Leafs couldn't get out of their own zone. It looked like the Islanders had 8 guys on the ice sometimes. Excellent job stopping the Leafs at the blue line. Excellent job clogging up the neutral zone. It really was a masterclass. Robin Leonard, 36 saves in the shutout, but really, half of those 36 saves came in the third period when it was already 4-0. The game was over. That's why, listen, Leaf fans, be mad at your team. I'm mad at this team. But use your head. I got fans pouting about Garrett Sparks. What? They got shut out, man. What, you want him to bag one of his own? Valtteri Filppula splits the D in the first period and makes it 1-0. Underrated part of that goal, Richmond Hill native and former Oshawa Generals captain Michael Dal Cole picking up his first NHL point on that play. But dude, the Dermott Ojiganov pair looks awful. Anyone that's been paired with Dermott recently, I haven't liked. And we'll get to that because second period, point shot, Barzal's in front with Hainsey. Hainsey doesn't even put a hand on him. Tip in, easy goal. I gotta look at the third goal here, 1 sec. Let me wait for the highlight to load.
And it's info, blockbuster, kablooey.
That's crazy. Nothing's ever gonna be crazy. I'm sick of seeing my face too. A few minutes later, Islanders power play. Barzal with the shot again, deflected in front again. Still in the second period, the Leafs get caught. It's a 2-on-1 for the Islanders. Barzal and Beauvillier. Zaitsev's the only guy back. Sparks gets beaten 5-hole, but he's thinking about 2 shooters. Also, it's 4-0 at that point. After 2 defenders are beaten by 1 guy and 2 goals that were deflections. Saw a lot of people go, oh, put in Kaskisuo, yeah? I mean, the evidence says that Kaskisuo's an .866 goalie in the AHL this season, but you know what? Go ahead and go with your emotions. Interesting facts he presents, but have you considered my feelings? Sparks wasn't the difference in this game, the Islanders were. I didn't think he was excellent, but what did you want him to do exactly? But let me say this. What do we learn here? The Leafs defense needs to be better. Zaitsev needs to be better, yes. Hainsey needs to be better, but his contract's up and he's old. There's nothing at stake there. Dermott was doing the sad puppy eyes again. Someone pick this guy up, because I think Dermott's gonna be a sick player in this league for a long time, but he's been brutal lately, and someone's gotta stop this guy from pouting. And get this, salt in the wound there. Matt Barzal's hat trick was the first Islanders hat trick against the Leafs. I couldn't believe this when I saw it. First Islanders hat trick against the Leafs since Mike Bossy. The Leafs were bad for a long time. Really? And Robin Leonard's shutout was the first Islanders road shutout against the Leafs ever. The Islanders have played in Toronto 88 times and they've never shut the Leafs out. No one even got lucky. No Billy Smith. That to me was stunning. So all the salt, all the time. It was brutal. So Islanders fans, if I were you, I'd be soaking it up. All the snake sounds and emojis, which you stole from the Kim Kardashian Taylor Swift beef. Weird flex, but okay. Because Tavares left you. He spurned you and you proved him. I saw a few people go, ooh, knockout punch. No, I'm gonna wait till after the if I were you to be salty. This had to feel like vindication. It had to feel so good, especially to have Barzal get a hat trick. The Leafs get shut out. Forget Tavares. That's amazing. I'd be eating it up and obnoxious. That's what I would be if I were you. Now, allow me to be salty for a moment. First of all, are you in? Yes, I am. Still got my Tavares socks on, win or lose! Because despite this particular loss, since John Tavares became a Maple Leaf, which I think he was since birth, but anyway, the Leafs have been doing a lot more winning than losing. And I think with this game, it became pretty evident that between the two fan bases, there's a little bit of a rivalry, even though that was the first game since. But I think we all know that no rivalry in the NHL is really a good rivalry until it's done in the playoffs. So if you want to do this, we can do this! You and me! Leafs Islanders at the flagpole in the spring! All the Islanders all, saw a lot of Islanders fans go, LOL, 50 years. First of all, it's 51 now, actually. Second of all, the Islanders haven't won since 1983. Shut your mouth. Do you have any friends who are alive who you haven't spoken to since 1983? That's not your friend anymore. Another chirp, this one's the most pathetic of all. Leafs haven't won a playoff series in X amount of years. You're not actually, have some pride. The Islanders have won. One's bigger than zero, is it? What, do you got a banner for that? Listen, Tavares is having the best season of his career because he's living his childhood dream of playing for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And because of how good they've been recently, there are a lot of players excited to live out their childhood dream of playing for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Such a shame that there are not as many children who grow up dreaming of playing for the New York, Brooklyn, Long Island Islanders of Anaheim. Listen, it's not that hard. He said he didn't want to get traded and then he left. He's a snake. What kind of goofy ass tinfoil hat long con do you think JT's playing at? What, do you think he was intentionally trying to screw over the team, like he was trying to have them whacked? Like, I know I'm going to the Leafs at the end of the season, better take out the Islanders. It's so much easier to say that, it's so much more fun to say that. You get to create a villain. This isn't wrestling, there was no Long Island screw job. The Islanders screwed the Islanders. Did they have mercy on Garth Snow because they just resigned to the fact that they lost out to criminal mastermind John Tavares? They goofed. You can't hold it against him that he didn't sign a long-term contract with the team because he didn't want to end up playing in Quebec. And here's the really sad part of it all. 9 years with the Islanders. 272 goals, 349 assists, 621 points in 669 games. 11 goals, 11 assists for 22 points in 24 playoff games with the Islanders. Yeah, he was the reason. And when John Tavares, the former captain who gave it his all, returns to wherever it is the Islanders play these days, he's gonna get booed. Meanwhile, Leo Komarov and Matt Martin, who scored 60 combined goals for the Leafs, 52 of which belonged to Komarov, get an ovation. They get a video board and everything. They get, mark my words, carve it in stone, there's gonna be at least one delay in JT's return to Long Island because of a jersey thrown on the ice. You watch. And I can't wait. Hey, 2 points is 2 points and the Islanders earned it in this one. But hey, eyes on the prize, huh? You're not trying to win the John Tavares Cup. If you really want to do this, leapfrog someone in the standings and let's really do this. Leafs fans would love it. Islanders fans would love it. It'd be amazing. Let's go. Questions. Let's be real. The game in New York is going to be much more important to win. If the Islanders win that one, you might as well delete all social media apps and throw your phone out the window of a moving car. Oh, listen, social media will be terrible if the Leafs lose that game, but at the end of the day, it's just another regular season game. A couple years ago when the Leafs finally squeaked into the playoffs, they got Washington, and I was thrilled because they almost got Ottawa. And Ottawa might have been an easier opponent that season, even though they made it to the conference final and were 1 goal away from the Stanley Cup final. But my heart, I don't think I could have handled it. And then I watched them blow a Game 7 lead to Boston again, and I thought, you know what? I'm not gonna be picky and choosy. Leafs Islanders playoff series, burn Twitter to the ground for all I care. Let's go! Is it good or bad that my trusty workhorse in Red Dead is named Zach Hyman? Red Dead just became Mike Babcock's favorite video game. Well, he's a good horse, he works real hard, he doesn't just clip, he clops as well, and when he wants his oats, he goes out and gets them himself. How's that? Oh, I love this one. Where do the Islanders rank on the Leafs rivalry list now? I was sort of talking about this on the podcast recently. I'm not sure who the Leafs' natural rival is. Boston's the easy answer, but that's a little one-sided. Ottawa, it's a little bit faded. Leafs and Habs is always a fun game as well, but they haven't played in the playoffs since '79. Leafs Islanders, it's developing. Give it time. It's not there yet, but it's gonna be up there. But I don't know if I even put that rivalry as high as like Leafs Blue Jackets. Those games are usually more vicious. Give him a rate. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to give that good doggo 91 out of 16 for reasons. Oh, let's end with this one. Is it time to set up a Nylander jar? Also, how many more games until every last player gets their own jar? For those of you who are a little out of the loop, I set up the Marner jar because every time he does something good, people go, oh, his contract's gonna be awful. Shut up and enjoy the fun! Every time you complain about the contract, you gotta put $1 in the Marner jar. As for a Nylander jar, look, I think he's been playing better recently and I've defended him a lot. But at some point, big bury the damn puck. I think he's got more confidence in his passing right now because he's actually been able to set up a few goals, and there have been a few occasions where he's had a great shot lined up and he's opted for a pass. Willie, I don't care how you do it, friggin' bury. If you're tired of hearing it from people, you know how to fix it. Go out there and do it. So I don't even hold it against people that they're ripping on Nylander. I get it. I get it a lot more than ripping on Sparks in a shutout loss. But ending on a very positive note, this is unbelievable. So, came up with the Marner jar last game, and I'm getting ready for Hockey Central Saturday on Sportsnet Radio with Rob Pizzo, and I'm checking my messages, and I see this. Somebody named Ross Chambers created the MarnerJar.com, and they did this on their own. I didn't even ask them to do it. The Marner jar was created in order to help Toronto Maple Leafs fans stop talking about the impending contract of Mitch Marner. Steve Dangle championed the idea in this video. While Steve originally joked that the jar could easily pay for Marner's contract by Valentine's Day, I'm sure he'd agree that donating to sick kids is at least an equally deserving cause. I think it's a little bit more. Sick Kids is currently raising funds for building a new hospital that they are in dire need of. Donations were to be $1 each time. However, you may donate as much as you think is necessary to ease your guilt of dreading Marner's contract. This site is run by Ross Chambers, just a Steve Dangle fan that thought he had a good idea. Well, Ross, I think you have a cracker of an idea. This is amazing, dude. So the MarnerJar.com to actually raise money for sick kids. So if you've ever found a way to complain about something good that the Leafs did, consider donating to the Marner Jar. If you want to just help sick kids build a new sick kids hospital, donate to the Marner Jar. In honor of the sweetest, goodest boy who is a Toronto Maple Leaf and always has been, I donated $91 to the Marner Jar. I'm gonna recommend you donate at least $16 to the Marner Jar for obvious reasons, but if you can donate whatever you can, that's excellent. If you click donate now in the top right of the website, you should get a screen that looks something like this. As we look back on 2018, I want to make it like a year in review video. I don't know if I'm gonna have time, but as I look back at 2018, this is how I'm gonna remember it. I'm gonna remember 2018 for your generosity. Like between Easter Seals, when you helped me raise over $30,000 for Easter Seals, and between my two hockey teams over $55,000, the tournament raised $467,000 for kids with physical disabilities. It's incredible. And then your generosity to sick kids since I uploaded my video where I talked about being in a commercial with Kyle Dubas. This was the spike in donations to the Sick Kids Versus campaign after that was released. And there was another spike after I uploaded my video to the Sportsnet channel where I followed the Leafsss to sick kids when they visited. And dude, that's not me. I didn't donate all that money. That's you. I could upload a video every day, but without your generosity, it doesn't mean anything. And generosity doesn't necessarily mean donating thousands and thousands of dollars, although some of you did. It means donating whatever you can, even if it's $1. And I've seen so many of you do it. I know I'm sort of taking the fire out of yelling and screaming about the Islanders and Tavares, but God, I love you. You guys are the best. So for 2018, I say thank you and good start. So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends that John Tavares is a Leaf.